You know, guys, it's been a while since we've had a good proper scrap here on the channel, so today, guys, we're going to be going in with a live showdown featuring the Greenskins facing off against Norsca. Now, as far as the army goes, we're going to be going with Warthog on his glorious pagan. It's always a pretty good choice. He does have effigy of the Get. Granted, in this matchup, Azag is also really good. Being able to Spirit Leech down Famir and some of those very powerful single entities that the Norskins do have is very cost effective, but I'm just a huge fan of Warthog. I love the synergy with like huge infantry builds. So essentially, whenever Warthog casts a spell, as long as you have the Bonewood Staff, which I think is probably one of the better items in the game. Whenever you cast a spell, your entire army gets 13 melee attack and a charge bonus of 18%, which is huge. So basically you cycle through his very cheap spells. You use Brain Bust and Fist of Gork, and in this case we are going to be using the Gaze of Mork. It's only 4 wounds of magic. It's very, very cheap, so it's an easy way to kind of proc that bonus. We're just going to be going with a very wide force. So we have Savage Orcs, we have Biggins, we have Black Orcs. We do have a pretty big Archer Corps as well because we do need to take down those big Norscan monsters, but for the most part, we're going to be trying to crump some gits. And also, Biggins are a pretty decent anti-large option against Norsca. Norsca has Skin Wolves, and some of the Mammoths are very lightly armored as well, depending on which variant they bring. So the Orc Biggins definitely bring a lot to the battlefield. We have a Goblin Shaman as well, so he can stroke that little rod and give us some winds of magic. We also do have a Goblin Big Boss, and I didn't have enough money to... I forgot to use that 94 gold on chevrons. We're doomed! But anyways, I was going to do that, but I got caught up in the commentary. But basically, the Goblin Big Boss, I had just enough to bring him on foot, so we just have a little like shanking Goblin who's going to be running around on foot. We'll probably put him with some Black Orcs to give a little bit more punch. I would hesitate to put him with Savage Orcs because they're going to turn and run, and he's just going to get like kind of beaten down. But yeah, pretty good missile pressure as well. We go with the Orc Archers because they have better armor piercing values. So if you're going to be shooting against like some of the Famir and things like that, they're going to be able to do a lot more damage than the regular Goblins would. Bit of an open field map. I don't know if I played this one. Yeah, I think I played it, probably at one point or another. Yeah, very wide army. Hopefully we'll have enough space to kind of deploy here. So Savage Orcs and Biggins going to be kind of a... Well, Black Orcs will be the core of the army, although I wonder if I should spread those guys out a little bit. We'll put the Savage Orcs on the outside and one Savage Orc in the middle. I think that's going to be a nice and juicy little formation there. Hopefully the Biggins can actually get on some of the ideal targets. Basically, pretty big infantry corps, like I said. A lot of archers here in the back. And Greenskin archer lines can actually be pretty threatening for sure. I mean, not the most accurate of lads, but, you know, they're always down for a good proper scrap. And proper scrap? What the hell was I saying? A proper scrap in melee combat. My brain just like got totally confused right there. But anyways, yeah, that's going to be our main core here. The little Goblin Big Boss who tried is going to be on foot. I don't know. You know, I saw, who was it? I think it was in the Eternal Challenger League. I think we saw Chief or someone using an Empire Captain on foot, and it was like super effective. Granted, I don't think this guy's quite an Empire Captain, but you know what? He's going to give it his all, and that's all that matters here, right? So we got a couple nasty Skulkers as well who are going to be helping in our back here. So if he tries to flank us with dogs or anything like that, these Skulkers will engage them with their Prison Shanks, and 2 groups of Forest Goblin Spider Riders. They're basically just counter skirmishing plus dealing with like any sort of pressure. They have enough mass to pin up big threats like Famir, so it keeps them from just getting into the cookie jar of our back line. That's pretty much it. Good luck, have fun. Cheers, man. Let's do this. Let's see if we can take down the ferocious mammoths. Very, very small army for my opponent, so probably going to be using like champions and a bunch of Famir and Skin Wolves. Oh, Skin Wolves, I don't know. Maybe not Skin Wolves, but probably Famir at least. Probably like 3 or 4 groups of Famir and maybe even like a mammoth or 2. It's going to be pretty hard to deal with, but I think with our archer line plus our Skulkers and effigy, we have some pretty good tools. Granted, I mean, maybe bringing some trolls could have been a decent idea, but I feel like with our archers, maybe we need to like spread out a little bit more. I feel like we're a little bit too... Yeah, let's actually spread out a little bit more. Just like looking at his army like composition, or not composition, but you know, my assumed composition for his army, I think spreading out a little bit is going to be probably a little bit more efficient. Just covering more ground and making it so we can't like collapse our whole bow line in one go is basically what I'm looking for here. All right, that's probably okay. I mean, it's not the prettiest formation, but it'll do, pig. It'll do. All right, so let's get the show on the road. Good luck to my opponent. Let's have some fun and champions, marauders. Why is his army so small? I guess, oh, okay, he's double mammoth. Okay, that explains it. It is a feral mammoth, which is good, which means we can rampage that bad boy pretty quick. So let's go ahead and just kind of square up like this. We want to get one group of Forest Goblin Spider Riders right here and the other group right here. Basically, the mammoths are going to try and blitz through our front line, which is going to be painful. But basically, we're going to effigy one and then just focus fire it down. Wolfric doesn't have the enrage mechanic, so he can't get a little, you know, he can't get too crazy there. So let's actually screen out here with the Savage Orcs a little bit, and hopefully we're going to be able to take down the mammoth. So these guys and these guys can start shooting at you, and these guys and these guys over here can start shooting at you. And the Forest Goblin Spider Riders need to, yeah, we actually got some of the dogs over there. Great. So these riders need to kind of rush in and kind of intercept this guy. And Wolfric, in the meantime, will slap him with the big old FG to get, which is going to kind of pin him in place. We'll go here, and let's go ahead and pop the wall as well. Get that big old charge coming in on all fronts. So it looks like we didn't miss too many charges. In the back here, we do get some a catch there. I'm not sure how we got that. Anyways, we're going to kind of smoke bomb those guys. So Savage Orcs will be engaging, and we just kind of got to watch the periphery, really. Wolfric's pinned down here, and the Goblin Big Boss can go in against his Feral Mammoth. And the archers, I thought the Savage Orcs would be able to get those guys. It's okay. That's what's cool about Orc archers is they're not like slouches. They can actually fight those dogs pretty well. So Brain Buster here, we're going to pop it in the supporting formation of my opponent's army here. And Wolfrick's taking a lot of damage for Surge. Now we can pull back this guy. We can pull back the Forest Goblin Spider Riders over here and use them a little bit more defensively. And hopefully we can crump some of these dogs. Great. So we get dealt with those ones. And over here on the far side, same thing's going down. So let's pull forward these Skulkers. Oh, those are actually our archers. Goodness gracious. All right. So we'll get the Forest Goblin Spider Riders to come deal with them. So flank pressure is definitely pretty good for our opponent, but we have taken out one Mammoth pretty effectively here, so that's good. And our infantry are doing very, very well. So Black Orcs, let's get them going after Wolfric for now. And we'll put a Fist of Gork to get the melee attack on all of our troops. Great, so the guys here, we've been able to get those dogs off. Forest Goblin Spider Rider should be able to peel there. So now we're going to get all of our archers, put them in group 5, and just kind of start focusing down Wolfric. And these Spider Riders need to chase that Feral Mammoth off the battlefield. So that's pretty good. Bounce Fire's a little bit in our favor. We're going to go ahead and blast him with a nice little Vindictive Glare right there. Or not Vindictive Glare, but you guys get the picture. And he was able to break through the front line in some areas. Forest Goblin Spider Riders have their hands full a little bit. We have a Brain Buster as well. I don't know if there's too many good targets for it, but I guess in those Berserkers, it's not bad. And great, so we're chasing off there, which is nice. Our Goblin Big Boss can come back in and help deal with the Skin Wolves. This flank's kind of like compromised a little bit. We don't have too many assets to kind of defend here. So let's pull back. He's kind of kiting with Wolfric. And what are these, Skin Wolves? Yeah, we don't want to mess with Skin Wolves too much, but we'll pop Leadership, see if that'll help at all. And we'll turn and start shooting at these Skin Wolves. We'll just kite a little bit with him, and the Goblin can go ahead and pop a nice little missile attack on those guys. The doggies are causing some problems for sure, so we're going to start pulling back some of these guys, and Wolfric might actually... Well, yeah, Wolfric's coming back around. He's going to be looping back in here in just a second. All right, so the Skin Wolves here. If we could break them, that'd be nice. Those Forest Goblin Spider Riders have gotten the Mammoth off the battlefield, so let's pull them back into defensive duty, and we'll get these Savage Orcs kind of intercepting those guys. All right, great. So we have a battle here in the middle. We do have a Smoke Bomb, so we're going to pop that to kind of snare down Wolfric a little bit. These archers can pull back. These guys can pull back a little bit. And we're doing some good damage to these forces here, but yeah, I mean, we're going to have a lot of, kind of lads and gits coming back over the course of this long battle here, so... Bounce Power is still in our favor a little bit, so we're going to get in there with Wurzog, and we're going to actually buff him up to see if we can get a little bit of punch on those guys. Savage Orcs should be able to clean up the dogs there. Let's get these Savage Orcs coming back in and get these archers coming back to shoot at these guys, and these guys can go here. Great. All right, so we got a fight on our hands. Skin Wolves are going to be causing problems. It's a big archer line here, so let's get some Savage Orcs and Black Orcs back here to see if they can help out. These Black Orcs can intercept these guys, and the archer line is a little bit compromised now for sure, but I think we have enough stuff, and Wolfric's low enough that Wurzog's going to be able to kind of finish it off. All right, so the Goblin Big Boss needs to get in there, keep crumping, keep doing his thing. And these Savage Orcs, I guess there's no point really chasing down the dogs. All right, so we're ahead on the bounce for sure, but it's still not a game that's over by any stretch of the imagination. We're trying to get in there, trying to pop that guy. Savage Orcs should be pretty helpful here against these Skin Wolves. And the archers, let's actually focus on the Skin Wolves a little bit. Wurzog's getting caught up, so we need to pop this, and we need to try and escape if we can. Get out of there, piggy! Oh yeah, we're getting in there. All right, great. So these Savage Orcs, let's pull them back, deal with the Norscan Ice Wolves. We want to keep our archer line, our archer core online if we can. And let's get the little Goblin Shaman in there. We'll use his rod to get some Winds of Magic. And yeah, just kind of keep squealing and running and, doing our thing. We got some Berserkers over there. We can actually pop them with the Brain Buster to trigger the army-wide buffs. And the archers, let's see if we can pull those guys back and get away from some of the threats. The Norscan Ice Wolves here could actually maybe turn and cause some problems for us. But yeah, let's get these archers shooting at the Armored Skin Wolves actually. So that's why they've been so durable. Look at the little Goblin Big Boss that could too. That guy's been fighting like an absolute champion the entire game. All right, so we're going to square up here, get the archers in the back. And a lot of pressure from this Norscan army, but I think we're in pretty good shape. Let's actually focus on those wolves there. We'll get the Savage Orc line kind of screening out here. We'll get the Skulkers in the back reforming ranks, and we'll pull in our main core. Goblin Big Boss get in there as well, and we do have... What is it? I always forget what this does when you overcast it. What does it do, actually? Extended cast range? It's weak against armor. Let's try it. I don't try it terribly often. Little Goblin Caster is getting kind of crumped by the Norskins, but that's okay. I mean, he was trapped up from the start there. All right, so the archer line, let's go ahead and pull these guys back. Savage Orcs and company can collapse inward, pull you guys back as well. And Smoke Bomb will kind of get a layering of Smoke Bombs here and shoot these guys. Great. All right, so we should be able to Smoke Bomb these guys. I think that's going to be pretty good. Fist of Gork here. We're going to pop it again. We're being very conservative with our Winds of Magic, but get you guys going. Oh, did we get him? I don't know if we got him. Damn. All right, hopefully some of the Skulkers can come in and help us finish these guys off, because they're quite good against Wurzog, actually, in terms of like what they do. And we have an FG of the Git, so we're probably going to use that when he tries to come in with a Wolfric, wherever that may be. All right, so he's coming in with Wolfric. Let's go ahead and pop him with an FG to make sure he can't get on those juicy targets and start shooting him with archers. And all these guys can kind of collapse inward. All right, great. So the Skin Wolves have been dealt with for the most part. We need to kind of keep fighting here. We have 11 Black Orcs that are back online. Wolfric should be going down here, or at least breaking. Yeah, we broke off the Skin Wolves in the back. Now it's just Wolfric. Shoot that big mammoth. Take him down. Get him, Skeeter. We're going to go ahead and shoot him with a missile attack just for good measure. And come on, Hogmaster, get him. So GG to my opponent. It was a fun game. He had some good flank pressure. I kind of used the Spider Riders to catch the flanks a little bit, or basically I used them to absorb the mammoth pressure, and then that kind of opened up my archer line because I only had 2 Skulkers to protect my back line. So he had a lot of flank pressure for sure, but we really pounded the front line. Like our Black Orcs and Savage Orcs and our Biggins did a really good job hammering the front line. And our Archer Corps, though it was partially compromised, that's kind of the cool part about the Orc Archer line is that Orc Airboys can like take a beating from like Ice Wolves, whereas like Goblins, for example, would run into the hills. So we had a couple misplays here and there, but for the most part, I think it was a relatively decent game. The Double Mammoth can be tough to stop for sure. I mean, that big pressure coming in there. Thankfully, we took down the Feral one very quickly with some focus fire from our Biggins and the Archers, and we were able to take out Wolfric rather quickly as well. And it kind of forced Wolfric back, so he was kind of a non-factor for most of the game. But my opponent's build was good, and the Armored Skin Wolves was a nice touch as well, as opposed to the regular ones, because they took substantially less damage from the Biggins and Savage Orcs and my Archers and stuff. So that was a really cool pick for my opponent. I liked it quite a bit. And he had good flank pressure. I mean, he did get on top of 2 Archers and was persistent with those Wolves. He was chasing down routing units, but we just had a big old proper wall, and we were able to get in there, scrap, and make Gork and Mork proud. So it was a very fun game. But yeah, what would I change in this build? Honestly, I'd probably just cut the Goblin Big Boss. Like, he wasn't that useful. I mean, he was cool. I mean, look at him. I feel bad cutting him now. But yeah, the Goblin Big Boss didn't do too well for us. It was kind of just a funny thing I threw in at the last second. But yeah, we probably cut the Goblin Big Boss. Be a little bit more careful than Night Goblin Shaman. I had so much Winds of Magic. I should have been spamming, but I was being very conservative, just making sure I had something to cast like every couple seconds to keep that going. Or within the duration of the Bonewood Staff. Yeah, cut the Goblin Big Boss. Probably just like, I don't know, maybe cut... No, the Archers are really, really crucial. Cut the Goblin Big Boss, maybe cut a couple abilities on Warzog and get another Spider Rider. That would have been huge, because I would have been able to screen out the dogs much more efficiently with one more of those. Whereas I used them to kind of pin in the Mammoths, because I didn't want the Mammoths getting into the back line, like forcing my Archers back and causing problems there. So that was really kind of the main deal there. So anyways, well played to my opponent, HV. Hopefully you guys enjoyed this Greenskin versus Norsca scrap, and we'll see you guys next time. Take care.